unrepentant for her decision to speak the truth. But despite the fact that she gained greater support, the primary worry on as she encountered additional challenges. Everyone wondered if Mena and Yan would finally come forward or continue to lie in the hopes that Erica's suffering would come to an end. It was about surviving not only the truth now, and she was conscious that the relationship was in jeopardy. She had previously seen backstabbing and deceit in the hip-hop industry. But this, she wasn't just an outsider because she was at the center of the story and knew it would make or destroy her. During one of her interviews, Erica said, "I've been terrified of losing love my entire life, but I'm not scared if she was different from them. But I'm not doing it anymore because she was becoming less respected, and the woman who initially entered the scene all those years ago was naive and optimistic. But now she was a strong force, and anyone who tried to weaken her would see how resilient she was." In the meanwhile, Menzies' calm becoming unbearable after his initial post. He didn't provide any more content. Not even he appeared to be hiding while trying to manage the problem he was in, as evidenced by a tweet or an update on his Instagram had created, but it was becoming clear that people began to regard him less the longer he said nothing. One admirer referred to him as a coward. He made a mistake and is now acting as though he didn't. As though he couldn't even take Erica into consideration if he really loved her, accountability, and defend his son. But the media was unable to prevent him from hiding behind Yandi's skirts, continue promoting the unsolved drama with a title that reads, "Fans desire answers after a fair revelation." But the fact that DC is still mute has just made his situation more stressful, because whether he intended to or not, he had become the story's enemy. Rather than stunning the public in the middle of all the chaos, Yandi's next move, rather than immediately speaking to the media, Yandi went into damage control mode after confronting Erica, posting several pictures of her family, children, and one only learns about Meneses on Instagram family. But the captions were vague, yet incredibly moving. Stated, "I'll fight for it, my family, no matter what." Yandi's was trying to project an image of strength, showing that despite everything that had come to light, Story Main's reaction to her standing tall and protecting her family was unimpressive. Many thought it was an attempt to distort the truth and pretend that nothing had happened. One of her supporters posted the following comment, "Happened. How do you tell when your partner deceives you like this? Yandi betrays you both. And you're behaving as though family is everything these days." The tension between Dandy and Erica was palpable and extended beyond a straightforward argument because everything is being watched on the public. Sentimental posts, he simply disappeared, leaving fans to conjecture as to see if he was waiting for the storm to pass or if G had already lost everything, and Yanda Sillen spoke loudly. She continued to share on social media how her family continued to support her no matter how many she shared pictures of men and their children that demonstrated how the strains in their relationship were becoming increasingly obvious. As well as Erica, who started this dispute, had no intention of backing down and was committed to seeing it through to the end. "I'm staying, Erica, and I've declared that this is also my story, which I will share as the days pass." It was clear that no matter how hard someone tried to hide it, the truth eventually came to light because of the tension that was the. Supporters were incensed as the Yandi and Erica Mana Mendes debate escalated to a breaking point. Mendescus, the public, and everyone else appeared to have forgotten that there was still one final twist. Since they were so exhausted, Yandandi was only exacerbating the last argument, which would either completely destroy the family's relationship or begone Erica's lengthy recuperation since she had officially admitted to the affair. There was no turning back, showed that the baby and the ideal family picture of men DC weren't what they appeared to be. But the battle wasn't over. Regaining control over her life and tale was more crucial than disclosing anything in the weeks that followed. The fact that Erica persevered in posting updates on her social media, a single mother proving her tenacity and proudly rearing her son, despite the fact that her admirers were constantly Erica, who was there to assist her, realized that she was fighting the entire system that had caused her to feel that way. Yandhi is viewed by males as a supporting role in someone else's narrative. But not just by men. His absence from social media indicated that his prolonged silence was having a detrimental effect. Some coworkers and some supporters speculated that he was trying to patch things up privately with Yandhi, while others believed he was waiting for the right moment to address the controversy. But as time passed, he did so regardless of how much those who had previously supported him began to question his integrity as it became clear that the damage had been done. His refusal to take accountability in public only served to widen the gulf between himself and his fans. Yandhi was struggling too. Maintain the image she had put so much effort into creating, and her articles regarding the more she tried to be the perfect wife, the more her commitment and family love seemed to be a facade. Some questioned how long she would stay with Meneses after more people noticed the cracks in her relationship, pretending that, although some believed she was just acting for the cameras, others believed everything was a touching reunion special on hip hop and love. Everything that arrived at last, after much anticipation and a long simmering tension, reached a boiling point. The host implored the group to confront the gravity of the situation. It's time for everyone to put DC's Yandhi and Erica back together. Speak your truth, the presenter said. This has been a long and difficult process for all sides, but it's time for resolution since the public is curious about your positions. The audience was tense. Moment was thrilling, and there was a brief sense of tension. Following a time of quiet, Menzies, who had been, he stood up, his face worn out and eyes downcast. After avoiding the cameras for weeks, and began to declare, Mendy admits, I made a lot of mistakes, in an honest tone. I failed both of these women, and I caused a lot of harm to other people. And I refuse to acknowledge that I wasn't the person I was supposed to be. He took a moment before saying, Dakia, long breath. I'm sorry, Erica, I should have told you the truth. Despite my best efforts to hide everything, I was self-centered from the beginning, and I truly regret that. The audience was silent, and Menashe's words were absent for the first time in months, were lingering in the air without any applause or cheers, despite the fact that the apology was long overdue. This was because he was genuinely demonstrating empathy and vulnerability for everyone. But the biggest shock came when Yandhi spoke next for after, remaining silent for weeks while the drama unfolded around her. She finally talked to Theka Mera. She said steadily but emphatically, it's not just about men's. Yandhi expressed emotion by saying, it's about me. I've been through a lot and I'm done protecting him. Now it's time for you to face the truth. Everyone in the room sensed the fans were left wondering what would happen despite the passionate and tight debate and gravity of the situation. It seemed like something would eventually cut the cameras. Would Mendy act and finally make Yandhi do this? Is everything going to be all right after accepting the truth? Or will Erica's revelation be the last one? Word in this heartbreaking story in the weeks after Mendesky's silence became so deafening that he chose not to respond to Yandhi's emotional confessions or to Erica's continuous revelations. Posts, he simply disappeared, leaving admirers to wonder if he was biding his time till this storm passed, or if G lost everything in the process. And Yandhi's quiet act a lot, she continued to post that no matter how many times she sent, her family was still being a supportive wife. Pictures of guys with their children that revealed the strains in their relationship becoming more obvious. And Erica, who started this dispute and was resolved to finish it at all costs. She had no intention of giving up. I'm staying. Erica, I've made it known that this is also my story. And I'll be sharing it as the days pass. It was clear that no matter how hard someone tried to hide it, the truth eventually came to light because of the tension that was. The supporters were incensed as the Yandhi and Erica Mena debate escalated to a breaking point. Mendesky, the public, and everyone else appeared to have forgotten that there was still one final twist since they were so exhausted. Yandandi was only exacerbating the last argument, which would either completely destroy the family's relationship or begin Erica's lengthy recuperation since she had officially admitted to the affair. There was no turning back, showed the infant. But the ideal family picture of males in DC wasn't what it seemed. The battle wasn't over, though regaining control over her life and narrative was more significant than disclosing anything in the weeks that followed. To the fact that Erica persevered in posting updates on her social media journeys. A single mother proving her tenacity and proudly rearing her son, despite the fact that her admirers were constantly Erica, who was there to assist her. Realized that she was fighting the entire system that had caused her to feel that way. Yandi was treated as if she were a supporting role in someone else's narrative, not simply men. While men saw his absence from social media indicated that his prolonged silence was having a detrimental effect. Some coworkers and some supporters speculated that he was trying to patch things up privately with Yandandi, while others believed he was waiting for the right moment to address the controversy. But as time passed, he did so regardless of how much those who had previously supported him began to question his integrity as it became clear that the damage had been done. His refusal to take accountability in public only served to widen the gulf between him and his fans. Bu Tian was struggling to maintain the image. In a shocking turn of events, Erica Mena has dropped a bombshell that has left admirers in full shock. It's so combustible to the point where it's upending the entire hip-hop and love universe in terms of covert and behind-the-scenes connections. Savers, you might think you've heard it all, but we're referring to a special live webcast from Tearfield that has gone. Erica, who went viral, looked directly at the camera, her eyes flaming and her lips trembling, whispered that I had a covert relationship with menstruation, something no one ever expected. The internet immediately went viral. But Erica wasn't done, because of what she revealed next didn't just shake the Erica assertions, which absolutely flipped the table. In addition, they were covertly while admirers tried to put together the circumstances. She not only had a romantic relationship, but also gave birth to his child. Nobody was aware of a child who was kept in the shadows. Celebrities began leaving comments on the timeline with mysterious posts. When Yandandi finally entered the chat, the chaos just became worse. This was the dark side of everything. Was a whole second family being hidden by men, DC? And why did Erica choose to make the information public immediately after? When Erica Mena revealed the shocking information during her live show, fans online went bananas. Yandi became incoherent after witnessing every move of Erica Mensy as they tried to comprehend what they had just heard. The statements echoed like a detonator. For years, they had been secretly dating men besties, and in a faltering voice, Erica acknowledged that we had a baby, and I will no longer keep it a secret. Enough is enough. We're serious. No one saw this coming or expected it to happen. But suddenly, in the last seasons of Love and Hip Hop, everything started to make sense, even the tiny things. Hidden tension, late-night phone chats, and glances had all been warning signs, but suddenly becoming evident, and the situation was more messier than anyone could have imagined. This was not a typical circumstance. This drama revealed secret lives and was more than just a simple dispute between two women over a man. Dangerous facts that upended the cornerstone of reality TV eras. She says she and Mendic started dating years before to this dramatic live broadcast, when his intermittent relationship with Yandandi was at its lowest. Erica's statement that it all began simply with two people gave solace to the man who had always been the center of attention. Individuals learning that it wasn't planned. Erica, however, they found comfort in each other's company amid tumultuous times. Explained at times in a calm but forceful manner that we just bonded when it should have been just friends. But we eventually grew beyond that. The relationship started over late-night phone calls and text messages, meetings that were hidden from the cameras. Capturing Erica's distress at her own breakup with Safri was recent, putting them both in danger. And Menzies, was they? Found one other's weakness while juggling legal matters that threatened to ruin his world. However, Erica claims that as things deteriorated over time, the meetings weren't innocent. Meanies warned her more frequently that their relationship with Yandandi was almost over, declaring, "I'm done." Erica initially hesitated to trust him, but she later admitted that it was just for the cameras. "But now you and I were real." However, he convinced her that his relationship with Yandi had been limited to the fact that he even publicized Waishan. By assuring her that he would break up with her and make things right, wanted to trust him. Erica said, shedding tears for their time together. "He was everything he needed when he professed his love for me and made it seem like I was the one he was meant to find to be with." Yet everything was a lie, at least according to Erica's perception. Have since continued their romance in private. According to Erica, even throughout the trip, private moments were kept hidden from Yandandi and the world at large. However, when Erica discovered that everything she had anticipated had changed, and she started to worry that she wasn't certain of what to do, since she feared the consequences rather than just getting engaged in the drama while pregnant. But she was shocked by Menesis's response when she told him not to freak out. When she revealed that he couldn't leave and chose to stay. "Don't worry, we'll figure this out, work for a split second." It seemed as like gorgeous Mendes was supporting her even as she was attending doctor's appointments, because Erica felt as like she was living in a bubble, believing that the man she had fallen for was finally acting. The bubble cracked when she spotted Menzies and Yandi together on the red carpet, smiling for the cameras. Erica was horrified and taken aback by the hard fact that he had never done anything. "He just forgot about us," Erica said sourly. Pretending she didn't exist, he went back to Yandandi, as though nothing had happened. "As though I hadn't." Erica began to question whether men could see everything and had genuinely cared when the baby wasn't there. Erica said, "For her, why would he go back to Yandi without hesitation if he had been honest?" Despite the Tragedia's devastating since it had an impact on his family, which he built with Yandi, in addition to the man she loved, was considerably more agonizing because, whether she knew it or not, Yandane had played a role in their lives. Nevertheless, Yandi Sash weighed the situation seemed to be handled further complicated things, because Erica claimed to have known that Yandane had suspicions about something. And one day she went up to Erica, but no one had expected it when she showed up at my door. Erica recalled her voice, and she gave me a shaky look with recollections without yelling or yelling. "I always knew," she added. "But you think I didn't see it, that I didn't know what he was doing?" Yandi's response, although acknowledging something that had been simmering for a while. The attitude was more resigned and cold than surprised when Yandi said she wasn't mad. "At me?" Erica was shocked, whispered, wiping at her eyes. "I knew he would do this. But I didn't anticipate you becoming involved." She informed me of this disaster. Erica claims the altercation finished with Yandi. She promised not to tell anyone about it and walked away with the words, "If thou escapes, it will destroy everything. Destroy him. Destroy the kids, will destroy everything we've built over the years." The secret was kept hidden under a number of social media posts, including family photographs. And Erica and Yuan Dandandi said nothing during the staged hip-hop and love drama. Both women pretended to be in front of the cameras. When Erica's kid was born, they were both clinging to a cruel reality behind closed doors, even if nothing was wrong. According to Erica, Mems was there, but he was only there for a little period of time. The baby was quickly held in the hospital, kissed his forehead, and then disappeared as soon as he arrived. "He left, I didn't hear from him for weeks," Erica revealed, and although I was convinced that years later he wouldn't come back with Erica, and he wasn't afraid that she had kept the secret for so long. All was exposed time, but now she wanted everyone to know that he can't just. What would Yandi do next remained a mystery as they waited. No one else broke the silence the day following. Erica's live webcast, in contrast to Yandandi Smith-Harris, who had always known for her calm demeanor, she rarely reacted hastily, and this instance was no different. Her response was purposeful, but this time it was utterly unexpected. Instead of directly mentioning the affair, Yandandi posted a frightening yet enigmatic comment on Instagram, noted that there's always more to a story than the infant, or even the truth will come to light when it should. For now, my family and I are focused on the future. Fans were shocked by this. What did she mean? Nobody knew if this was a veiled attempt to deny charges, or whether it was a validation of Erica's claims. Yandandi made it clear that she wasn't going to give up easily, and as the days passed, her cryptic comments only increased people's curiosity. He had not yet dealt with any of the persistent minds that were still stealing the accusations. Others speculated that he was waiting to talk until the situation had calmed down. They believed he was making every effort to protect his family's reputation, yet the longer he stayed silent, the more doubt his sincerity. And then, right when the stress seemed unbearable, new development was disclosed by an unnamed source close to Mendez and Yandandi, who shared an audio recording of a private tech conversation that allegedly took place between Yandi and the captured men months before they fought over the affair, and shared on other gossip websites. When Mendy hears the child in the video say, "I never meant, I made a mistake that led to this point, but it's over, right? And I don't want to lose everything because of it." Yandi's cold, cunning response was, "I know you've already lost on me and that you've also lost her." Social media was buzzing about the release.